I'm shaking my head. I don't know what to say hardly. Yeah, I have a lot to say. Let's talk about it. Hello everybody, my name's Jim with South Coast Cruise, and I don't want it to be this kind of channel. Don't make me make it this kind of channel. But I saw something today that just kind of stuck in my craw, and I want to share a little bit about it. The video that I saw opens with two people on a cruise ship saying y'all can have the cruise, and then he turns around and says, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, Royal Caribbean. And then they both say terrible. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to give any information other than what I saw and what was said. That being said, they loved the cruise. They thought they got on the ship. It was great. Loved the stateroom. Liked the balcony. It was bigger than what they thought it would be. Got to the flow rider, and there was a long line for the flow rider. Lots of people waiting in line. That's the only problem I had with that. There's a lot of people that are going to be on the cruise ship, and the flow rider is going to be a popular attraction. That's not even the problem. That's just the beginning. I feel like that you're probably already looking for problems. Then he says I guess he likes to take pictures of the sunrise and sunset. So he got some of his favorite pictures of the sunrise and sunset on the boat. Wait a minute. It's not a boat, it's a ship. Sorry, that's a pet peeve. Then the footage shows that it looks like a great cruise. They're enjoying the bars, they're enjoying the food, all the amenities. Everything looks great. And then Royal Caribbean informed them that they weren't going to be able to go to Coco Cay or the Bahamas because of a potential hurricane, a tropical storm. So they were diverting them to Jamaica. Honestly, Jamaica is probably just as nice. But anyway, it's because of a tropical storm. So then we skip to, they're in Jamaica, and they're loving Jamaica, getting the food and everything. And then all of a sudden, now for whatever reason, before they go back to the ship, they grab this big old box of food in Jamaica, and they want to take it back on the ship. Well, anybody that has ever been to another country knows that you can't bring food back from another country when you're boarding a ship or reboarding the ship. That's the same thing as going back through customs. So keep that in mind. Anytime you're in a port, you can't take that stuff back with you. He also claimed he couldn't take alcohol back, but I know that you can bring alcohol back. You just may have to pay, if it depends on how much you get, you'll have to pay duties on that alcohol once you get back to the States. And the cruise line will take your bottle or whatever it is that you have, that you've purchased, the alcohol, and hang on to it until your last day of the cruise, and then they'll give it back to you. And then once again, it's a ship, not a boat. There's literally 9 minutes of him haggling with various merchants in the port over price. Almost lost me at that point, but I wanted to hang on and see what the gripe was. Then a full third of the video is him just putting Royal Caribbean on blast about the problems that they've had on the cruise, which are because of a storm and because Royal Caribbean is trying to protect them instead of going through the storm. Maybe they'd like to go through the storm instead. Oh, then they could complain about how rough the seas were and why didn't Royal Caribbean route us around it? Well, it seems to me like everything about this video is just trying to slam Royal Caribbean or have something to slam to be controversial about. Well, it's working because you got my attention. At least Royal Caribbean protected you from potential disaster. Finally, in the end of the video, toward the end, this was her first cruise, and she just wanted to go to the Bahamas. Well, We kind of covered that. There's a storm there. Royal Caribbean is a very big and powerful company that has a lot of money, but they can't control Mother Nature. And they have your best interest in mind if they have to change your itinerary. It's usually for your safety. Got to keep that in mind too. You know, nobody can control the weather, and it doesn't matter what kind of vacation you go on. The weather can't be controlled. Then we find out that he's maybe been on one other cruise, and it was on a Carnival ship. And he didn't have any itinerary changes then. You got on one ship that's just so happened to be at a bad time, and they had to make a schedule change for your safety. You can be a little more forgiving about it. I mean, yeah, you may be a little upset about it, but there's no sense in going crazy about it. So just keep in mind, if you go on a cruise, things like this can happen. You know, if you live through it, then hey, it's a story that you can tell everybody when you get home. Personally, one of my favorite stories is telling about when I went offshore in a hurricane on a 30-foot jack-up boat in the middle of the Gulf. Well, I won't get into that, but I lived through it, and it's one of my most beloved stories to tell. I just had to get that off my chest, and I hope that my viewers don't think badly of me. I just want to try and set the record a little bit straighter because I felt like it was a very slanted video, and I disagreed with it quite a bit. Like I say, I don't want to make this channel that, but don't make me be that. So here's wishing you happy sailing, and be sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. Always be safe and sail on.